What's going on, guys? Will with Gutter Fighting Secrets. Today's video is going to be all about training Muay Thai in Thailand and the differences between training elsewhere and coming to the mecca of Muay Thai and training here. Because there's a lot of big differences that I see. So before we jump into that, let me just preface a little bit, and then we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to give you guys a lot of very good information. So, as you guys know, I disappeared for a little while. I made a video recently about where the hell have you been? And this is where I am. I work a remote job, so I'm able to just disappear full time and live out here and train Muay Thai full time during the day. I work New York hours, so I'm working at night. But during the day, when I wake up in the morning, typically around 11 or so, I train. And we'll get into what that training looks like, what you can expect when you get here, how you can expect to be training, how the training is different, how you can actually come and do this even on a budget. It's lots of affordable options, and there's really zero excuses if you have the time. Now, for Americans out there, it's going to be tough for you because I know we don't really get vacation time like that. We're lucky if we get 2 weeks off a year. For the Europeans, you guys get like a month off a year at least. So like you guys are able to do something like this. But look, I'm not able to decide for you what your time frame looks like or what's going on in your life. That's up to you. But I'm here to lay out the information for you of what you can expect when you do plan and when you do get here, and how you can expect things to go for you while you are out here. So I am going to fire up my laptop here. I've got all of my notes, so I'm concise and I'm not jumping around from topic to topic. Let me open it up and we'll get going. All right, so the ways that you can do it, the ways that you can actually come out here and train. So the first way, and arguably the more popular way, is to sign up for a fight camp. And typically these fight camps are hosted by a gym, right? So like a lot of the times the gyms that you're going to find that do these are maybe not in Bangkok. They are usually down south in like Phuket or Krabi, somewhere by the beach, somewhere that looks like this. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's very affordable. And typically it'll be like 2 weeks or a month. And for that 2 weeks or a month, you're training twice a day, morning and night. What you can expect, though, is that you're going to probably, if you decide to do a fight camp, and we'll get into option B after this, if you decide to sign up for one of these fight camps at these gyms, they'll take a fee from you, usually not that crazy, and that will include all day of training plus meals, plus somewhere to sleep. And when they give you somewhere to sleep, it's typically like not a five-star hotel, but it's totally completely fine. Some of the gyms offer like a nice little casita type thing where it's like a little room. Others have like a little motel type thing. Others have nicer accommodations. It's kind of up to you to shop around to find what you want. But the accommodations are never going to be like 5-star, but they're also not going to be 1 or 2 stars. They're going to be kind of, in the middle, decent enough and fine enough for you to get a good night's rest, because you're not going to be doing too much else besides training Muay Thai if you decide to go the fight camp route. What do those fight camps typically look like? Usually you wake up at like 6. You're going to run about 10K. And for the Americans out there, that's about 6 miles in the morning, usually early in the morning around 7 or so. Then you're going to come back. You might do breakfast first, you might do breakfast after, but usually you'll come back and you'll do technical stuff and pad work for an hour or two. After that, usually you'll eat, you'll have time to chill, relax. You are expected usually to do a little bit of weight training on your own. And then in the afternoon, usually you'll chill until the evening time. In the evening time, you'll usually have more technical training followed by sparring. Sparring is big over here. We'll get into the ways they train, but I'm just going to say this right now. Don't be too afraid of the sparring, especially because it's every day. They go super light out here. Because the Thais fight all the time, like literally every week or every couple of weeks, they will spar very lightly. So you're not going to get too beat up by the sparring. And then you'll usually go to bed. There's no specific bedtime. It's on you. If you want to go party at night, you can. But I recommend not, especially if you have a fight coming up. Speaking about having a fight coming up, usually if you're doing well enough, you don't really have to do that well. these fight camps will be able to arrange a professional Muay Thai fight for you at the end. And that can range and vary between full Muay Thai rules, which is knees, elbows, no shin protection, just anything goes. And then some of them also have the ability to get you like more amateur fight if it's your first fight, where you wear head protection and maybe shin guards. I wouldn't count on that because most of the fights out here in Thailand are professional full Muay Thai rules, but it just kind of depends. So that's the route of the fight camp. And again, you have your meals provided for you, generally speaking, um, and generally speaking, your lodging and the training is all included in that package. Anything else extra that you want to do, whether it's a massage, whatever kind of massage you want, or anything to do with recovery, buying fight gear, whatever that is usually on you. Okay, so that's the first option, is going the fight camp route. And if you're interested in doing something like that, but you don't know where to start, comment down below and I'll try to help you out with a couple of options. The second route, which is the route that I went, now the first route that I went was a fight camp route. I came out here with my boy Taylor. He was fighting. I knew I wasn't going to have a fight, but he trained hard and I partied the whole time. Now this time I came back. Now mind you, I have a Thai girlfriend, so it's a little bit easier for me to get around. But I went the route of coming out, doing your own training, making your own schedule, and finding your own hotels or Airbnbs or whatever, and food. Everything's kind of on you. The nice part about that for a guy like me is like I make decent money. I work remote. Things are cheap here. I'm able to stay at really nice hotels with gyms. I'm able to eat whatever the hell I want. But I have to make sure, I have to have the discipline personally as a fighter that I'm actually going to show up for training. I'm actually going to be doing my road work. I'm actually going to be doing everything that I need to do as a fighter to be prepared to actually have a fight at the end of whenever I choose. Um, Probably coming up in a few months here. Again, the nice thing about that is that if you are an experienced martial artist, if you are a disciplined martial artist, you are able to do something like this where you make your own schedule. Now, having a coach though is imperative. Okay, so like don't just come out here, hop from gym to gym, think, oh, I can come out and like do some road work and train and like go from gym to gym and hang out and relax and then I'll have a fight. Dude, that's not a good idea. You really should find a coach or coaches at one gym that you're wanting to work with and operate under their guidance, right? And that's what I'm doing right now is I have one coach that I'm working with and he's giving me the guidance, and he's kind of, when I first came out here, he had me just doing mostly pad work and stuff. Then he said, hey, why don't you do a little more sit-ups? Then he said, all right, it's time to start running. Then recently he said, it's time to start running more. It's time to start doing more sit-ups. Time to start doing more strength training. And someone that can work with you and really make sure that you progress and are taking the steps that you need to take in order to be actually prepared for a fight. Because even if it's your first fight out here, you really have to expect that anybody you're going to be fighting in Thailand, whether it's a foreigner or a Thai, is going to be very good. Now, again, if it's your first fight out here, you probably won't be fighting a Thai because those people grow up fighting from a very early age. I'm saying like 8 years old, 6 years old, 10 years old. So, like a guy like me who's 38, obviously that's just not in the cards. So, more than likely it will be another foreigner. But even so, don't ever sleep on a foreigner. If you're here in Thailand training Muay Thai, you're very good already. You're already a professional in some respect. You've, generally speaking, already had enough experience that your coach decides you're ready to fight. So it's nothing to scoff at. And even for the first or second time that you fight with the headgear or the shin protection, and I say or because it's generally one or the other. Sometimes it's both. Um, you should absolutely not sleep on the fact that this whoever you're facing has also been training in Thailand. So you need to make sure that you're really taking this seriously. Otherwise, look, I mean, you can get very hurt out here. My buddy Taylor, he broke his tibia in half. It took him about a year to recover, and that's just what can happen. I mean, it's what it is. You're doing a Muay Thai fight in Thailand where it's a developing country, but like you want to be careful. So let me get back to my notes here, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But So option A is doing a fight camp, and option B is if you are an experienced enough martial artist or you don't want to do a fight camp, doing your own fight camp out here can be actually quite nice, and especially if you are working while you're out here or something, could be a good option because you don't have to worry about getting up at 6 in the morning to go train with the rest of the crew. You can get up, and if you work nights or whatever, you can still work and make money while you're out here. So, what are some of the biggest differences between training in Thailand and training back home, whether that's America or Europe or Canada? So, in Thailand, number one, this is the biggest difference that I've seen, or one of the bigger differences that I've noticed is running as a part of training. It's not different like at home and all of the Muay Thai gyms that I've trained at, which has been three so far. Only the fighters really ran, and if you want to run, like you can, it's on you. If you're smart, you will do, you'll run 2 3 times a week, but it's completely on you. In the first gym that I trained at in Jersey, only the fighters ran as part of their training. In the second gym that I trained at, kind of nobody ran. It was kind of a joke. The third gym that I've trained at, which is the gym I'm at now, which is more of an MMA gym, if you're on the fight team, you're expected to run, but it's not part of the training. Out here, running is part of the training. Um, you will run. Generally, the Thais run 10K in the morning and about 3 or 4K in the afternoon. So they're running twice a day and training twice a day. That's hardcore. Um, I typically run. I've got a lot of problems with my feet and stuff, so I typically run about 5K a day right now, but I'm going to have to be bumping that up significantly as my fight approaches. Um, sit ups are hardcore out here. I mean, the fighters will do like 1,000 a day. I'm doing about 400 a day right now, and that's on the low side. My coach, he's bumping me up, like I said, but you're going to be doing a lot of sit-ups. And depending on the school you go to, it might be part of the class, part of the training, but generally it's kind of on you, but it's part of the training. Like if you don't do it, you're not really doing Muay Thai. Um, Another thing is the sparring, and I alluded to this I think earlier maybe, is that you're going to be doing sparring every single day out here, but the sparring is very light. It's not like in the States, dude, we take each other's head off. I mean, you can agree to go light, and like sometimes you do, but like a lot of the times you go pretty hard. At even going like, let me try to figure out how to say this. Going half speed or light in the States would be going a little bit hard for the Thais. Now, don't expect that if you have a fight coming up that you're going to go like completely soft every single time. But they generally won't try to knock each other out while they're sparring. The fight team that I was on at home, we get pretty close to that line of trying to knock each other out in sparring. Um, Out here, it's very rude to do that. You just don't. You go very light. And the reason they do that is again because they fight so much. They fight once every 2 weeks, twice a month usually. Or if they get knocked out, you've got to wait like I think it's like 60 days, 30 to 60 days before you fight again. But then I mean they're fighting for money out here. This is how they support themselves. So they'll generally fight twice a month, sometimes a little more. So they can't be like getting a lot of brain damage in sparring, and they can't risk getting injured in sparring either. So it's nice and light. It's very technical, and that's a huge difference between back home where I train. It's a lot harder and a little bit less technical. It's a little more emotional, frankly. Another thing is, dude, while you train, dude, like people are smiling. You'll see it. Like they're sparring, they're kicking, ooh, ooh, and then you smile, right? When somebody lands a good shot, even if you get kind of touched on the chin, boom, ooh, 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 it's fun and it's a fun atmosphere. And they do that because like they train so hard and they train so much that if they didn't do that, it would just suck. And the Thais, it's known as the land of smiles. They actually have, I think it's 13 different smiles, and that's no joke. It's a real thing. Thais have 13 different smiles to express different emotions, right? Like they've got the "you're full of shit" smile. They've got the "that makes me laugh" smile. They've got the like "I'm breaking balls, I'm making fun of you" smile. They've got the "I'm uncomfortable" smile. But they smile about everything, and it's kind of on you to decipher if it's a good smile or a bad smile. But during training, and your coaches will tell you this, they will tell you this during pad work, during sparring, during training. Smile, smile, relax, sabai, sabai, which means like relax. It's a happy thing, and they bring good vibes into the gym with them when they come and train. Like even when you're getting ready for a fight and you see the pros sparring, it's laughter, it's smiles, it's good vibes. And that's a really refreshing thing because I know in the States at a lot of MMA gyms, dude, there ain't no fucking laughing. There ain't no fucking smiling. It's I'm serious, I'm here to fight. Ugh. And that's just like number one, it's intimidating as fuck. Um and number two, like it's just like I get it. Believe me, I get it, but you should smile. And that's a big lesson that I've learned out here is when you're training, dude, we train because we love it, right? We train because we love it. And we fight because we enjoy it to some degree, right? We have to, otherwise we wouldn't do it. Smile. Enjoy the process, man. Um, Another thing is skipping rope. This is just part of class. This is part of training. You will skip rope. You will skip rope for probably around 15 minutes before you start. I hate it. My feet hurt all the time. It's like I've actually had a doctor tell me like, dude, skipping rope is bad for you, but like, what are you gonna do? Another thing is shadow boxing is super emphasized out here. They say it makes you better. I, I get it, but I don't. But I don't really need to. And I've been told this by one of the crews, one of the coaches. Crew means teacher. So your Muay Thai coach, you will refer to him as crew. Um, One of the crews told me this is you don't need to know why, just shadow box a lot and you'll get better. So whatever. But it's also part of training out here. And it's really like important. And it's, again, I don't know why, but the trainers really think it's very important. Okay, so the use of knees and elbows, dude. Like out here, it's a lot of knees and elbows. In the States, it's actually pretty rare to get a fight unless you're like a pro who's been doing it for a long time. But it's actually pretty rare to get a fight where you can use knees and elbows. At least a fight where you can use elbows. So usually, what I've noticed is that your training turns into more kickboxing than anything. Which, like, if you're doing MMA or um, if you're serious about Muay Thai, or even if you're just doing it for self defense, that's not good. Um, Typically out here when you spar, you can throw elbows, but don't really connect. Like you've got to be very careful about that. You can connect, but like don't cut anybody. You better not fucking cut anybody with your elbows. But knees and elbows are big out here, and we'll get into clenching in a minute. But like clenching is a huge, huge part of training out here. Um, So, and when you train, like a lot of the training you'll do with pads, it's elbows, and it's not just side elbows, dude. Like you're gonna learn the full art of elbow throwing out here. You're gonna learn every elbow there is: spinning back elbow, the up elbow, the down elbow, the side elbow. They call it sock, right? And like I don't know enough Thai yet to where I can tell you the every different type name of every sock, but sock out here, the elbow, the art of throwing the elbow. I think it would be called neck sock, something like that. Um, you're gonna throw them all, and you're gonna become very, very proficient in the use of your elbows, which is very good for street fighting, as well as knees. There's lots of different types of knees. There's not just the straight knee. There's a round knee. There's a knee to close distance. There is a knee to keep people away. There is a knee for clinching. There are so many different. There's a hopping knee. There's flying knees. There are so many different types of knees and elbows, and you will learn the whole gambit, the whole range of them while you're out here. You will likely learn if you're with a decent gym all of the knees and all of the elbows, which is what makes Muay Thai so deadly. Don't forget that Muay Thai was originally founded as a battlefield art. Although today it is more of a sport, it's the most brutal sport you could probably do. Um, so it's big. Now, another thing is the clenching. Clenching is big out here. I've noticed at gyms in the States, we don't do a lot of clenching. Sometimes they'll have like an extra part of the class, or if you're on the fight team, you'll do clenching after class, or it's not necessarily part of the training. But out here, it is. And you'll generally spend, depending on where you train, at least a little bit of each class working on clenching. Clenching is a deep art, like a very deep art out here. It might as well be its own thing, honestly. If you're good at wrestling, you're going to be good at clenching. If you are an MMA fighter, you will be good at clenching. If you're a street, if you practice, like street self defense stuff, you'll like clenching. You'll enjoy it. It's very practical for the streets. But it is a deep, deep art out here. I've been clenching for years. I'm good at it. I'm still not anywhere near these Thai fighters, dude. They will light you up. They will sweep you down so fast. And sweeps is another thing that's like part of it out here. That at home, people are nice and sparring. People don't want to get swept. So like it's the typical Muay Thai class you go to. It's not a lot of sweeping going on, but out here it happens all the time. Look, you just learn how to fall. You're going to be wearing thick gloves, so learning how to like fall with gloves on is important. But clinching knees and elbows is half of the fight out here. So they concentrate a lot on it, and if you do come and train out here, chances are by the time you're done, you'll be much better than you were before at knees, elbows, and clenching. I can't describe to you how deep of an art clenching is. It might as well be its own martial art. It really might as well be. Okay, so another thing is fights out here are no big deal. Like to us in the States, and I know to some degree in Europe and Canada and whatever as well, like it's a big deal. When you get your first fight, it's like, all right, like my coaches think I'm ready. Here I go. Like it's a big, and the other people in the classes wherever you train at your gym are gonna like be like, oh damn, dude, he's got to fight. Like he's serious now. Dude, out here they've been fighting since they were 5 years old. Like literally, I watch all the time. They lift up these little kids and they put them in the ring. And they got these big gloves on, adult gloves, and they're just, and it's crazy to watch. But that's the first fight out here. Is you're like 8 years old. They'll find you another 8-year-old who's roughly your size, and all right, go fight, whatever. So like to them, like getting somebody a fight's no big deal. Like, all right, yeah, you've been training for a month, like go ahead, see how it works. And that's kind of how it is to them. And it's almost like the way that we view jiu-jitsu competitions back in the States. But I even say we take that more seriously than they take fights out here. It's just whatever. It's totally sabai sabai. Like if you're with a good coach or a good gym, they will get you ready for it for sure. You want to make sure you win because their reputation is to some degree attached to to your win or loss. But um, it's just such not a big deal that they don't think anything of it. Like again, they fight twice a month out here, so for them, it's like whatever, man. Um, and that's very different than back home. Again, I mentioned about kids fighting. Kids fight. It's what it is. They knock each other out, dude. Like at 8 years old, you're gonna see 8-year-old kids knocking each other out, like trying to at least. It's they don't have rules out here like they do back stateside, dude. They just don't care. It's just what it is. Music, all right. So music while you fight, and sometimes even when you train, you'll be fighting and sparring to Muay Thai music. If you guys have ever heard that before, and they dance to it, right? That's part of the fighting. That's part of Muay Thai. Is the footwork is to the rhythm. The hands and the long guard, it's to the rhythm. You will move your shoulders to the rhythm. It's fun. It's cool. It psychologically it hypes you up. There is, I mean, this music was developed for battle, so Like, and still to this day, almost every fight, um, they will play music while you fight, and at the higher levels, the music is live. It's actually, there is a Muay Thai music band there. One guy has the flute type thing. I forget what it's called. They've got drums. They've got, dude. It's like official. And generally, like when you're getting ready for a fight, sometimes they have it, pre-recorded, and it's like each song is 1 round long, and so you'll train to that as well to get you used to it. It's badass, man, and it makes you feel like a fucking warrior. It's great. It really does hype you up. And when I hear that music now, like I just go in the zone, and I'm like, okay, fuck, am I fighting? Oh shit, okay. It's really cool. It's really really cool. So the music, it's part of Muay Thai and it's part of fighting. Massages from your coach. All right, this one might make some Westerners like a little uncomfortable. Don't. It's part of the fight. So out here they have Muay Thai oil, and it's in my fight bag, so I don't have it with me at the second. But it comes in a little yellow bottle. It's yellow oil that smells like peppermint, and you put that on before you train, before you fight, and it helps warm your muscles up. And dare I even say, it makes you a little more flexible. It feels good. Don't put it on after you're already started sweating a whole lot because it kind of burns. But before you start warming up, you put this on. So what your coaches will do is they will they will massage you in between. So if you're sparring, and especially if you're fighting, in between rounds, you go and you sit down. They pour water on you, and they will give you a massage and stretch you out in between rounds. And also before you train, if you're doing pad work one-on-one with a coach, like if you do a private lesson, they will stretch you out before you start fighting or training, rather training. And they will also, like, if they can tell that you're like either in pain or like you need to be stretched out more, or if sometimes they'll offer, hey, do you want a massage? And you will literally lay down on the fucking ground and they will massage you. And it's not like a gay ass massage. Like, don't worry, it's not like that. It's a Thai fighter's massage. So getting a massage in Thailand is actually part of training, is part of fighting. A lot of guys will go like once a week. Some guys go almost every day. And massages out here in Thailand cost the equivalent of about 10 US dollars. So it's like, it's a good idea. Thai massage is stretching and massage, and it's like the legacy and the root of it actually is for warriors. It's very healthy, but it makes you more flexible, and it like helps you keep training, especially when you're training twice a day, plus running, plus weights, plus doing sit-ups. That's a lot on the body, dude. So like, you're gonna need it and you're gonna want it. But again, the massages that your coach will give you, it's not gay. That's part of it, and it's designed literally so that you can train harder and train more often. But massage is part of training out in Thailand. And I try to keep that up when I'm at home in the States. It's too expensive. It's unaffordable, really. Um, so out here, they are powerhouses, and they do not stop training. Like I've explained to you, like the typical training schedule. It's running 10K in the morning, going and training, running 3K in the afternoon, like 3.5K, whatever. No, I'm sorry. I keep saying 3K. I meant 5K, 3.5 miles. So, running 10K in the morning and 5K in the afternoon. And then more training and sparring at night, plus weights, plus sit ups. That's typical day. And that's every day. Like maybe you take Sunday off. I personally take Saturday and Sunday off because I'm fucking 38. But like, that's how they train out here. They are powerhouses of training. And I'm just looking at my notes. So they have two expressions out here. Number one is Muay Thai is pain. Muay Thai is pain. If you like pain, if you can handle pain, rather, you'll do good. Um, if you're afraid of pain, don't come and train. They say you won't make it. Another one is you have to have what they call Jaisu. Jaisu is like the fighter's heart. Um, you're always ready to fight. You're never scared. You could be scared, but you're never gonna back down. Jaisu, it's heart, and that you will hear this a lot. You ever watch like Muay Thai documentaries or anything about Muay Thai? This is like the biggest thing that is emphasized for fighters in Thailand is you have to have the heart. And if you have the heart and your coach can see that you have the heart, they will make everything else happen. And that's what they say out here, the crews, the coaches. If you have the heart, we will make you ready for the fight. If you have the heart and you're not afraid to fight and you're not afraid to just keep showing up and just do what you need to do, train, 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 train. If you have that fighter's heart inside, they can help you develop everything else. There's no difference between a Farang, a foreigner, and a Thai. The only difference is where you were born and what color skin you might have and what language you speak. Everything else can be taught to you. But if you have the fighter's heart, you can fight and you can win. And that's the most important part. You have to have Jaisu. So, in summary, coming to Thailand to train, like whether it's for a fight or just fighter development, is an extremely good idea. It will develop your fight IQ a lot. Now, something to keep in mind is the coaches out here generally have a minimum of 100 fights before they become a coach. Minimum. They've been fighting since they were 8 years old. They might retire at 24, 25, 27, something like that. Maybe sometimes older, depending on how much damage they take. But whoever your coach is, they're going to have a minimum of 100 fights, sometimes 200. And that's not even an exaggeration. That's just facts. And the amount of wisdom that they have to share with you is incredible. Not only the amount of fight IQ that you can learn from them, but just the amount of warrior wisdom that you can learn from these guys is insane. Because the amount of experience that each and every single one of them has, it's incredible. And that's hard to find in the States. It's hard to find. Um, the fight IQ that you can develop while you're out here if you work hard at it, if you have Jaisu, if you don't get distracted by everything that's out here. There's a lot of distractions out here, guys. Thai women, Thai girls love Farang. They love the white guys. Um, they there's prostitutes out here that's widely available. I don't recommend it, but it's here. There's lots of drugs out here as well. I don't recommend it, especially if you are at all serious about training. You need to stay away from the street girls. You need to stay away from the drugs and don't drink too much. Thai food is absolutely delicious. Enjoy it in moderation. Because when I first came out here, I was eating too much of it and I was just getting fat. My coach even said, he's like, "You fat." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "You fat. You need to lose weight." I was like, "Fuck." I did. I'm like back where I was. I'm back at my like walking around weight now. But the less weight that you gain, the less you'll have to lose before your fight. And keep that in mind. And you do have to spar when you're out here. It's expected that you spar and you spar a lot. But again, don't be afraid of it because you're not going to be sparring hard. It's going to be pretty gentle, pretty light, and pretty fun. Really fun, actually. Really fun. Like the way they spar out here, it's with good intentions. It's to make each other better, and it's with a good heart and good vibes. So don't be afraid of it. Come ready to spar. Bring shin protection. Bring a mouth guard. That's really all you need. And bring a couple of pairs of Muay Thai shorts. So before I cut it, let me give you some advice on what you should bring with you so that you're not scrambling out here and trying to buy shit. Things out here are cheaper, but it's better if you bring your own stuff. So I would bring 3 pairs of Muay Thai shorts at a minimum, 2 or 3 pairs. Because if you bring one, you're gonna need to wash it at some point, dude. And like, you don't want to have to go into the Muay Thai gym with like a pair of gym shorts. Just like it doesn't look good. So bring 2 or 3 Muay Thai shorts, pairs of Muay Thai shorts, and bring like 6 pairs of not boxers, briefs, because you don't want to be flashing everyone when you're kicking, right? So bring like 3 pairs of Thai shorts and 6 pairs of briefs. You'll go through them quick. Now laundry out here, it's easy to find laundry. It's 100 baht per kilo, so that's roughly $3 per kilo. They wash it, they fold it for you, you get it back the next day. but you want to have enough that you can go a couple of days without having to do laundry. Um, Shin pads, bring shin pads. Don't bring the stupid sock ones that are like really thin. People will be angry if you do that. Bring real shin pads with you. Um, I wear ear protection a lot when I'm sparring. I've had two ear injuries now from sparring. One time I had my eardrum ruptured. The last time was actually recently. It wasn't ruptured, but it was bruised, and I was hearing like for like 2 weeks. And then for another 2 weeks, I just like everything was loud in one ear and soft in the other. It was weird. So like I personally, even though it looks a little funny, I don't want to get another ear injury before I fight, so I wear ear protection. So you won't find that here in Thailand. Bring it with you if you're going to do it. Or another thing you can do is just bring the full boxing headgear. If you're serious about your health, anyways, it's not a bad idea to bring it. People won't laugh at you for wearing it. Like if they are an experienced martial artist, dude, we take a lot of abuse. Like we'll get it. No one's gonna make fun of you for wearing it. Gloves, I would bring gloves. Bring something to clean your gloves because they're gonna stink, and then bring wraps. Like bring a couple of pairs of wraps because again, you're gonna need to wash those things at some point. Bring two mouth guards in case something happens to one, and lots of deodorant because Thai people don't really stink. Like they don't really have that gene that makes them smell. So like deodorant out, you're not gonna find your favorite brands. You might find one or two in the grocery store. Bring plenty of your own. Other than that, bring like a boo boo kit. It's hard to find like European and American brands of medical supplies out here. You don't need to worry about it too much. Anything medically related, the healthcare is great out here. Um, I would definitely get travel insurance. Don't tell them you're fighting, but get travel insurance because it can get expensive if you need to go to the hospital, and especially like if you need to have surgery out here, you want to go to the right hospital, and it will be expensive. So get travel insurance. But I would bring with you like some band-aids, some definitely some antiseptic jelly and stuff like that just for cuts and scrapes. Because and medical tape to tape your toes, tape your feet, because you will get cut up while you train. Other than that, come with a good attitude, come with a hard work ethic, come with Jaisu, and bring as much money as you can with you because even though things are incredibly cheap out here, you will blow through your currency. You will find that like because you're spending monopoly money pretty much, you spend more than you think you're spending. So come out here with a decent amount of savings that is dedicated simply to this trip, and assume you're going to spend it all. Try to put that in a separate bank account, by the way. Trust me on that. With all that being said, those are some major differences that I've seen between training in the States or maybe even in Europe as well, training out here. One more tip that I will have for you is when you are sparring with other white people or whether foreigners, I should just say foreigners, just feel them out first because if you're going to get hurt from sparring out here, it's always going to be with a foreigner. And if they don't have a lot of experience training in Thailand, they might go a little hard at first. Feel them out for a round, and before you really get into it, play the first round of defense if you're sparring with somebody you don't know, and then you can relax a little bit and have fun. Other than that, come out here and have fun. If you have any more questions, comment. If you want me to help you at all, I'd be glad to. Comment. If you have anything that you'd like to add, comment down below. I know a lot of guys come out here to train and fight, and it's absolutely well worth it. Very affordable, and just an experience you will never forget. I promise it will change you as a martial artist and a person for the rest of your life. Guys, until next time, thanks for watching. Please remember that you are your first and last line of defense. Hey, let me know if you're in Thailand. Let's train.